Thank you all for coming. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Midshipman First Class Keo.
My name is Midshipman First Class Yator.
And what did you service like?
We're both subs.
Okay. So first question, why did you join the unit?
I joined the unit because my mom brought it up when I was in high school. I didn't know what ROTC was, and she mentioned the program, so I did some research. And obviously the thing that enticed me was the scholarship opportunity, so I looked into the different branches of the military. At first was interested in Air Force, but their scholarship package wasn't as good as the Navy one. So I applied for the 4-year national scholarship. I didn't get the scholarship, but you can still join the unit even if you don't have a scholarship. And so I joined as a college programmer, and I had no military background in my family or even like friends or family friends that were in the military. So I wasn't really exposed to what it was like, but I just joined because I like a challenge, and I also like the physical fitness aspect to it. So I guess those were my main reasons why I joined. Those have definitely changed as I've been in the unit.
So for me, the reason why I joined ROTC was because I actually kind of had some background in ROTC and military. Like my godfather was actually a chief in the Navy, and in high school I did Army JROTC, and then I was like, maybe I don't like Army, so I'm gonna try Navy out. And I didn't really know that UMBC had a Navy ROTC unit. I just kind of went there because I'm from Maryland, so I knew people who went here. UMBC is like a pretty good school for STEM majors. I'm a mechanical engineer, so yeah. But ever since I found out like the summer coming into my freshman year that there's ROTC, I'm gonna try it out. And then I really liked it. Like I really like how UMBC is kind of like a small community. We all know each other. Like I'm not just like a random face in the unit. So like those are some of the reasons why I stayed in the unit, just because like it's really close knit. I feel like a family here, and I'm developing myself like physically, mentally, and professionally through the unit. And I really just enjoy my time here. Like it's fun for me. So.
Moving on to our second question, what is something you wish you knew before joining, and do you have any tips to make joining an easier process?
So one thing I wish I knew before joining is, well, obviously I didn't have a military background, so there was an initial, I guess you could call it like culture shock during the first couple of weeks. And I did come to like it a lot, and now obviously I love the environment or I wouldn't be here for 4 years. But I wish I knew how much leadership emphasis comes with the career that we're coming into. So I didn't even know there's a difference between officer and enlisted until like literally the 3rd week of being in the unit and like diving into all of the ranks and like the military structure. So I didn't understand the different roles that officer and enlisted play in the military, and knowing that officers take the not the hands-on approach, but the leadership approach, and you're in a people business, and being an introvert, it doesn't exactly come naturally to me. So I guess knowing that beforehand would have been beneficial and help accelerate your progression and leadership skills throughout the unit. So it's definitely a leadership role. And if you're trying to join the military for a hands-on approach, maybe the enlisted route would be better. So I guess I wish I knew some of that beforehand.
I'm just trying to think of some things that I would have told myself. One thing that I would have told myself was to take running more seriously. Just because lifting weights is fun and all, but like what really kind of matters is like running. So from like a practical aspect, I would just say like run more. That's gonna be pretty beneficial for you like physically. And then like another like really good tip that I would have told my past self was learn how to prioritize your time and manage your priorities. And I say that just because in college, for like many people, like myself included, it's kind of like your first time being away from home, you know what I'm saying? So like you can make like your own decisions for the most part, right? And it's just like when you're making a decision to commit to ROTC, you really have to like sacrifice and plan your own priorities, you know what I mean? Like sure, you want to have fun, like meet new people, right? And experience new things, but first and foremost, if you do decide to commit to something like ROTC, you have to realize that you're here for school, ROTC, and like physical development, right? And just being through the program for the past couple of years, I've seen people kind of had people come into moral crossroads, if you will, about that, just because they go, oh, like I want to do ROTC, but I also want to do that. So I think one thing that I would have told myself is just make sure that you know what you want from the very beginning, right? So that you don't have to come to that conclusion of when you've already committed some time to it. Just kind of give some thought to what you want, manage your priorities, and do very well like managing your time.
Okay, so our third question is, what is your most memorable experience in the unit?
I guess I don't have a specific memorable moment, but I would just say the relationships that you get to build with people and the people that you meet. You're kind of forced into, I shouldn't say forced, but you're forced to work with the people in your class, and that just builds stronger relationships because you kind of get over like the pettiness, or you make friends with people that you wouldn't normally stick around with because when you're not forced to work together, you just say, oh, well, we're really different, we don't get along, so we'll just part our separate ways. But you build these really strong relationships because everyone's so different, and then that will last throughout your career in the Navy. And also just the cruises that you get if you have the chance to go, then you get to travel different parts of the country and meet people like other midshipmen from different ROTC units that you immediately make friends with because they've kind of come from the same background, they're trying to achieve the same goals, and they're interested in the same things as you are. So it's just cool to meet people across the country that are striving for the same things as you are and gonna end up in the future together.
Well, for me, I kind of have a few funny memorable moments, but maybe for another time. But I think for me, one of like the most memorable and I guess wholesome memories that I've had in ROTC was when I found out that I picked up scholarship for the first time. So coming in, I applied for the 4-year national, didn't get it. I'm kind of glad that I didn't get it because it taught me how to work hard, how to work through rejection, and come back better and stronger. But yeah, I remember my freshman year, I would sacrifice with hanging out with friends, so I can focus on my studies, because that semester I had a lot of credits, and I was just thinking, dang, when is this all gonna pay off? I was really stressed out. I was wondering, it's worth it, right? But then I remember my spring semester of my freshman year, I was sitting in class, right? And my phone's on my desk, and then it's lit up, right? And then I just saw national scholarship, congratulations, 2 words, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, this is freaking awesome, man. All the hard work that I put in, just physically, mentally, all the sacrifices that I made, they're really worth it, right? So I grab my phone, I run outside, and I call my mom, I'm like, yo mom, I did it, She goes, what? I'm like, I got it, my college is paid for. So I'm gonna say outside by myself, just freaking out on the phone. So that was a really cool moment, and I kind of speak on that because I want that to be kind of an inspiration for some people who came in here not really knowing what they wanted, but it's willing to work for that, and just know that if you're willing to commit to something and you want it really badly, you'll find a way to make it work, And that was kind of one big thing that being rejected taught me, you know what I mean, that just because one door closes doesn't mean that there aren't other doors, right? So that was one of the most memorable for me. But some other memorable events for me with your cruises, just because you kind of get to travel the world and see places that you wouldn't have been before. For my junior year cruise, I went to Georgia. I've never been to Georgia, but I think it was really pretty. If we go there again, and you meet people from all over. I have friends from the West Coast, the Academy that I wouldn't have met if I didn't go on a cruise. But yeah, I'd say those were my 2.
Moving on to the next question. What appreciations do you have for the unit?
I guess my appreciations would be the mentors that you get to interact with, not just officers, but other midshipmen. And they don't have to be a direct mentor, but someone that you look up to or have qualities that you want to emulate. And also coming to a unit that was small. Originally, I wanted to go to NC State, which is like a huge unit, and for some reason I thought that would be a better experience. But after a couple weeks in the smaller unit that was brand new when I joined, I definitely appreciate the smaller unit because you get leadership opportunities that you probably would never get at a larger unit, and you get, I guess, like specialized attention, and you get to build stronger relationships and have closer mentors with upperclassmen and officers that you definitely wouldn't get at a larger unit.
Well, for me, one thing that I really like about UMBC is that first, it's not culture. But I really like how like we're all like a really close like community here, and the fact that because of that you can have like some really close like relationships like with like your upperclassmen, get some like really good advice from them as like mentors. Like for some of the seniors who already graduated like last year, like I still keep in contact with some of them, and it's just like the fact that you can establish that kind of like relationship here is like pretty cool, and the fact that you can get advice from them like mentorship. So that's something that I really like about UMBC and like our unit.
Now, to go off that question, what is a useful resource provided through the unit that you don't see current midshipmen utilizing?
I can take this one. One thing that I think that current midshipmen don't really utilize that much is talking to their upperclassmen a lot. Just because like there are people who like are same major, like they've really been through like all the things we're going through right now. So I think that it would be cool to see some of the underclassmen like utilize the upperclassmen more, just so that they can get some guidance, some mentorship, so that their journey wouldn't be as hard as like somebody else's, right? So I think that'd be one thing that I would like to see more be utilized.
Similar to that, I would say the officer staff, just because they're not in the exact community that you're interested in, or maybe they're just not super personable, or I mean whatever. Just like trying to get their experiences. I mean, they're literally in the position that as a midshipman you're trying to be in a couple of years. So asking them like struggles that they went through, lessons that they learned, and just their experiences in general. I don't like their office is always open, so just going there and talking to them about their career could be really useful, and that's something that I got a late start on, but just started to do this year.
Moving on to our next question, why did you service select subs?
I chose subs. It took me a while to feel like, I guess, confident that that was the community I wanted to join, but I do like enjoy the technical aspect, but more so the close-knit community that you see on the submarines. It's a small crew, and you're in a confined space, which obviously some people see as a negative, but you're always passing by people, so it's really not hard to go out of your way to like, oh, I want to see how so-and-so is doing. Whereas if you're on like an aircraft carrier or a larger vessel, you really have to make an effort to go out and check up on people. Whereas on a submarine, you're all kind of there, and it's visible the work that everyone's putting in, and the goal, like everyone is aware of the goal that they're trying to accomplish because it's such a small crew. So I think that's what really sealed the deal for me and made me motivated to join the community.
Yeah, I would say like likewise to that. I think a common theme that has been going on here is like a small close-knit community. So that was one thing that really like made me gravitate towards like the submarine community, because it's very tight knit. And I also did like how it's like technical in nature. So I feel like I would develop myself a lot, like mentally and professionally, by being a submarine officer. And it's just like, I don't know, like tight spaces never really bothered me. So that's also something that I could get past.
So to go off that question, if you weren't able to select subs, what would have been your second choice?
I mean, I guess SWO. I feel like I would actually want to do SWO second before SWO nuke, just because the idea of being on an aircraft carrier doesn't really appeal to me. But yeah, I mean, I was definitely torn between subs and SWO because I'd be happy with either. I mean, just being in the Navy and being able to be an officer leading a small division is really kind of the mission. So yeah, SWO would be my second choice.
Yeah, I mean, just to like piggyback on that, I mean, honestly, like any community that would have been fine for me. Like just being like in the Navy is like a pretty cool like, experience. I'm excited and a little nervous for the future, but I mean, like if I were to choose, I'd probably say aviation. Like I think like flying is pretty cool, and I do have like a little fear of like heights, so I think that's a cool thing to overcome. So I think aviation would be my second pick.
So to conclude our session with our final question, what would you say to current and future midshipmen interested in going subs?
I would say to keep an open mind to all the different perspectives and talk to the people that are in the community. You'll get a lot of mixed feedback of people that are in the community. They'll either say like, oh, don't go SWO or don't go subs, you're like ruining your life, but kind of take that with a grain of salt and make sure whatever final decision you come to, it's based like on your own decision. I mean, take all the experiences you've had, but don't do it like for the money. Don't do it because someone else told you to, or like don't do it because you're trying to, I don't know, prove something. Just do it, I guess, for yourself and really value the people that you're going to be serving. So if you're going to be in a division but you chose subs for the wrong reason, or to like to prove something and then you grow to not like it, then you're just gonna have a negative attitude. So yeah, try and do it for the right reasons and not for kind of like outward appearance or money or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really add too much to that, but I really just want to emphasize, like, make sure that you, like, really research, like, what the community is. Make sure that, like, your reasons are, like, for yourself, right, not for other people, and that, and it's, like, a good fit for you, right? Because, like, if you go on a sub cruise, for example, or talk to people who are in the community, there are some people who, like, yeah, dang, like, this kind of sucks, right? There are also people like, man, like, this is like, really awesome, right? So, take that, right, and allow that to help formulate your own decision and make sure that, whatever your reasons are, right, make sure that they're for yourself, right? And they aren't for anything superficial, right? Like money or status, right? Make sure that you do it for yourself, like for like a meaningful reason, right? Like intrinsic reasons, like small community where you get to grow yourself, like technically or professionally. So.
All right, that is the end of our session. Thank you both for coming.